Homelessness is on the rise across the United States. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. One group at particular risk of not having a stable roof over their heads, U.S. veterans. After 2 years of steady decline, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development says veteran homelessness is on the rise again, up 7% from 2022 to 2023. One organization says it has a model that works to get vets off the streets and on the path to success.
It's a big goal that stems from a tiny idea. Investigative reporter Kristen Crowley takes us to veterans' villages popping up around the U.S.
More than 18 million people alive today took an oath to serve their country and protect it. They are America's veterans. But despite their sacrifice for the land we call home, they are twice as likely to end up without any home of their own.
I like it because it's small.
Tim Schmidling is one of them.
How many times in your life have you been homeless?
3 now. Yeah. So, that involuntarily 3.
Come on.
So is Joanne Borden.
I was in an unsafe living conditions, and I was nervous and I didn't feel safe.
They both ended up on the same path, though they started on very different roads. Joanne served in the Air Force for 7 years. Life outside the military wasn't as secure as she thought it would be.
Affordable housing is an oxymoron, and so many people on fixed incomes, they can't afford the rents that are being charged.
Tim joined the Army in 1985 at just 17. 1 year in, he decided the military wasn't for him. He was discharged thinking he'd get full military benefits. Later in life, he fell on hard times and was diagnosed with cancer. When he reached out for help, he says there was nothing to hold on to.
They had said that I had to serve 24 months consecutively before you got your benefits.
So you were either homeless or on the brink of being homeless, and the Veterans Affairs Department said there's nothing we can do.
Twice.
They both needed help in a big way. And about 2 years ago, they found it. This is Veterans Village in Kansas City, Missouri, a community made up of 49 tiny homes, specifically for U.S. veterans.
Our definition of veteran is anybody who's ever taken the oath to serve our country. So if you serve for 1 day or 100 years, you qualify for all our programs and services.
That's why people like Tim can turn here. And Brian Meyer's group, the Veterans Community Project, can do that because it doesn't take federal dollars. Those, he says, come with strings.
You'd have to cap how long somebody could be here. Just the definition of getting somebody in the door would change. Let's see what we got down here.
Meyer is a veteran himself. So are the other 3 co-founders. The nonprofit survives mainly on donations and state dollars. It needs about $1.5 million a year to keep running.
The difficult part is getting these stood up in the first place. We're building subdivisions of homes, basically, and it's a big investment. But it's an investment that the ROI increases every single year.
And while Myers says the VA does important work, he says more helping hands and fewer barriers for veterans are needed. Veteran homelessness has dropped 52% since 2010, but 2023's numbers saw an increase, up 7% from 2022, the biggest increase in 13 years. The VA says that's likely due to a lack of affordable housing and the end of COVID-19 pandemic policies like eviction moratoriums. But this tiny village is hoping to make a big impact on reversing the trend.
The idea behind Veterans Community Project was really sitting down and saying, we see this issue where we have street homeless veterans. How do we really take them from street back into community and really have them set up for long-term sustainable success?
The tiny homes are the biggest draw for many of the veterans here. They come with a fully stocked kitchen, appliances, a bed, and full bathroom. And pets are welcome. But it also comes with services. Case managers connect veterans with doctors, therapists, state agencies, whatever they need to get them back on their feet and on their own.
Summer 2016, we all left our jobs. I left my law firm. We all went in on this. And in early 2018, we housed our first veterans here in Kansas City.
What has happened since then?
A lot has happened since then.
Next came a tiny home village in St. Louis and Sioux Falls, then Longmont, Colorado. Plans are underway to expand to Milwaukee and Oklahoma City. Meyer says the growth is because it works.
How do you prove this program in this village is successful?
We always look at how many veterans do we work with that successfully transition out into their own place. And you know, we're proud that around 85% of every veteran we work with is doing that.
124 veterans have come through the program in Kansas City, and 106 of them, according to Meyer, have successfully landed on their feet and in permanent housing. Tim and Joanne are about to add to that number.
So these guys helped me get set up with Section 8, so I have my own apartment.
I'm getting ready to transition out. I found a place to move.
Would that have been possible without this place?
No. I came here and I didn't have a car.
Now they both have what they say they need, not just a place to call home, but hope.
It's been a long time since I looked forward to a future.
The major cost for these tiny villages is getting them started. Meyer says that's about $12 million.
But he says volunteers have largely made the effort possible. His hope? To build a tiny homes veteran community in every city in America.
Meantime, the VA says in 2023 it housed nearly 40,000 veterans and awarded more than $1 billion in grants to help homeless and at-risk veterans.